Yo, what's good YouTube, man? It's Gary with Jonathan Fan TV, man. Back after the video. Like the content in this video, go and smash that like button. Like the content of this channel, go ahead and subscribe, man. Look, so Ravens versus Browns, game status. We'll talk about it, what the injury report looking like for the Ravens going into this game, this big divisional matchup. Honestly, it's looking pretty good for the Ravens. There's really only one really, I guess, scare on the injury report, but besides that, it's pretty good news for the Ravens, all right? So people with no injury designation going into the game: Rashad Bateman, Odell Beckham Jr., Michael Pierce, and Marcus Williams. Right, Marcus Williams has been a full participant this entire week in practice. So it's safe to say that he's trending towards playing. Now we'll see if he actually does play. But he's been a full participant in practice, which means that he is good enough to come back. It seems like, right now, me personally, I'll probably still keep Marcus Williams out, just make sure he's 100% right. There's no need to rush him back at this point in time. But if he can play, he can provide something. To me, the biggest thing with Marcus Williams is obviously the hamstring is very important. When you're an athlete running, things like that, you want to have your hamstring right, of course. But it's that shoulder, right? I mean, can he actually make tackles? Can he use his arm? One of the things that we're seeing from Geno Stone is being a playmaking kind of safety, right? Getting his hands on the football. Well, Marcus Williams is the same kind of safety. We gotta remember last year, I think he had three or four interceptions in his first 3 games as a Raven. So he was a guy who will get his hands on the ball a lot. This year, he can't do that if he can't lift his arm up above his head. He's just not going to catch interceptions that way, right? So if he can do that, if he can get his hands on the ball, if he can actually catch the football, and if he can wrap up and make tackles with that arm, cool. I have no problem with them playing. Until he can do that on a consistent basis, I would rather not see Marcus Williams. All right. So that's where I'm at with that. But it is good to see that he has no injury designation. So hopefully he is healthy enough to go. All right. Guys that are questionable: Jalen Armour Davis, Marlon Humphrey, Keaton Mitchell, Morgan Moses. All right. So Morgan Moses is another guy that was a full participant in practice every single day this week. So Morgan Moses is going to be back. Patrick McCary filled in great last week. But that's what he does. Somebody goes out, he steps in. When that person comes back, we better get back to that starting lineup. So Morgan Moses he will be back this week. And that's good news for the Ravens. The Ravens offensive line has been doing a lot better. They've been pretty good. So getting a guy like Morgan Moses back is good news. It's big news for them. All right. So Jalen Armour Davis looked like he was a full participant in practice today. So if the Ravens decide to activate him, like he could play. He's been a couple of healthy scratches in DNP. So they decide to activate him, he could play. The two guys on here that's interesting is Marlon Humphrey and Keaton Mitchell, right? So these are two guys that had nothing on them on Wednesday. Then it looks like they both got or tweaked their hamstrings during practice on Thursday. Both were limited. I know Justin Rebeck said that Marlon Humphrey was out there for like the first 30 or so minutes of practice on Thursday. Then he left, right? This practice, Ravens had all 53 players out there, which is a great sign for one. But Marlon Humphrey was still limited in this practice today, right? So Marlon Humphrey could be a guy that does miss this Sunday's game versus the Cleveland Browns, and that would be a miss for the Ravens. But they played the first game without him. I'm pretty sure, yeah. So, but still, you still want to have Marlon Humphrey all day. You still want to be at close to full strength as possible. But it's disappointing. You will hope that the hamstring is not a big deal, and the Ravens are just playing it safe going into the game. But Marlon Humphrey seems as though he did tweak his hamstring, and it is something that could be an issue. Keaton Mitchell had the hamstring thing previously, like a week or two ago. So once again, this could be the Ravens playing it slow. And then on Friday, today, he felt better, so he was a full participant in practice. I'm thinking Keaton Mitchell will play versus the Cleveland Browns, which is great. Tom Bunkin this week talked about that Keaton Mitchell has earned more opportunities to play running back for the Ravens, to actually be out there on the field. That's going to cut into some work for a guy like Justice Hill and things like that. But Keaton Mitchell, you go 9 carries, almost 140 yards, running the way he did, especially in between the tackles, which was the most impressive part for a guy his size. You earn those opportunities, right? Now the next step for me is that can the Ravens even get him involved in the passing game? Because dating back even to training camp, Keaton Mitchell, that was one of the things that stood out about him, was that okay, this guy is also a dynamic receiving back as well. You know, he can run the football, of course, but he's also a dynamic receiving back. So can the Ravens incorporate elements of that into his game, which can take this offense once again to another level, right? So, yeah, the injury report, like I said, is mostly good news, right? You know, you guys like Rashad Bateman, Odell Beckham are all good to go. Michael Pierce, good to go, who's been having a great season. Marcus Williams, full participant, we'll see if he practices. So, like I said, when you look at this injury report, it's really just a question of how bad is it for Marlon Humphrey? Will he be able to suit up and play with the hamstring? Is it something that the Ravens are going to feel inclined to sit him out and, you know, look ahead towards the Thursday game? Who knows? But that's the one thing to keep an eye on. But everything other than that is good news for the Ravens. Honestly, the Ravens are coming into this game in really good shape. The Cleveland Browns, I saw that their top 3 offensive tackles are out. So this Ravens defense, who's already averaging 4 sacks a game, is going to be going against, you know, backup tackles for the Cleveland Browns. So that is something that the Ravens have to take advantage of. And the way this defense has been playing, they probably will take advantage of it. So definitely expect a couple of sacks, but that's your Ravens. You know, game status for the Cleveland Browns is looking pretty good. So give me your thoughts on the comments, man. You know, obviously like, comment, subscribe on the videos. Let me get out of here, man. It's Gabriel, Another Fan TV. I'm out.